goes. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. Now buckle up, because it's time for liftoff.
10,
Come on.
9, 8,
Countdown
7,
with me.
6, 5, 4,
It's
3,
Friday.
2,
Jueves.
1, 0. Ignition. Lift
Here
off.
we go.
Lift off.
Come on. Get up there. Go on.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts.
Hold on to your
Get
hats.
ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time.
On Vaughn Radio. Come on. Let me get a yeehaw.
Let's go.
Let me get a hell yeah. Claro que sí. Welcome to the show where you learn real English. None of that English teacher BS. BS, tonterías, bullshit. This is where we learn the real deal, Holyfield, baby. And thanks to our students, every day we've got tons of participation going on here. So many students learning, laughing, and playing with us every day. Because if you're not playing, you're not learning the right way. It should be fun. Why not? I think one of the biggest misconceptions ever is that learning has to be boring. Learning has to be a chore. Hell no. Lo mismo que acabamos de decir, hell yeah? Pues hell no. Claro que no. And here on Vaughn Radio and in our classes, that's our philosophy. That is our philosophy. That's what we do. We make English exciting. As Richard Vaughn always says, if the teacher's awesome, the subject is awesome. That's the idea. And if you think back to high school, no high school, dilo conmigo en voz alta, por favor. High school. Well, what were your favorite classes? The classes where you liked the teachers, right? Where the teachers really, really felt passionate about what they were teaching you. And I think I can say that about each and every one of our Vaughn teachers, not just the ones on the radio, but our master's teachers, our, at Vaughntown, they're not teachers. In fact, that's the greatest part. Explícame el presente perfecto continuo. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Right? And that's kind of cool, because then you have to fend for yourself. You say, buscar las castañas? Is that how you say that? To fend, lo vimos ayer, madre mía. To fend for yourself. Vamos a ver. Arreglárselas, manejarte, valerte por ti mismo. And obviously, if you really want the grammar explanation, ChatGPT. But those Anglos, as we call them, they're not proficient in grammar. In fact, most English speakers, if you ask them what tense they're talking in qué tiempo verbal estás hablando? I have no idea. I don't even remember what I said. And that'll happen also in Spanish. Why? Because native speakers don't carry around a grammar book, do they? I always say this with grammar. Here's my rule with grammar. Learn it so you can forget it and never have to think about it again. But what's the best way to learn it? The way it sounds, the way it feels coming off your tongue and out of your mouth. That's what you need to learn. The sounds of English. That's why I'm always telling you guys to repeat stuff aloud, en voz alta. Yeah, well, if you want to practice your listening, just turn on Vaughn Radio. You're set. Hecho. Done. Tampoco tienes que hacer mucho. Just, even if you're passively listening, you're going to pick some stuff up. Now, if you're actively listening, you're definitely going to pick some stuff up. And if you're repeating the different structures and vocabulary aloud, well, you are definitely ahead of the game. And I like to say that, and I mean it. My students, I know it for a fact. My students are in the top percentile in Spain. And it's not just they know the most grammar. As I said, forget that. They are the ones who sound the best, who seem the most confident when they speak. And today we're going to be hearing from a bunch of different students, because today we've got our question of the week. We're going to be hearing from Alberto, Alfonso, Born to Iron Man, Cristina, Chicago, Elena, Juanlu, also in Chicago, K Roller Girl, Nuria, Marisol, Chris Valrol, and Anix. Talk about an amazing dream team. And if you guys want to practice your speaking, well, I urge you to es instar. Se escribe como urge. I urge you guys to participate in our weekly speaking section. All right, well, let's kick things off with a little challenge that we call the Say What Soundbite. Say what? What? All right, amigos, a couple things. Next week's question of the week, we'll be doing it on Friday because next week's a normal week. Have you ever kept a journal or a diary? Dear Diary, no? Cuando escribíamos, I did when I was younger. It's a really good exercise, not just when you're learning to write, but also to, get a clear idea of what's going on inside your noggin. Your noggin, tu coco, N-O-G-G-I-N. So, have you ever, haz alguna vez, es la estructura esta, have you ever kept a diary, a journal? Significa lo mismo, ¿no? Un diario. Dear Diary, today Bobby was checking me out. Bobby me estaba dando ojitos. Hey, we looked at that word the other day. Remember the joke? Why were they wary of the hotel reception desk staff? Because they were always checking people out. Siempre estaban echándole ojitos a la gente, pero también hacerles checkout. And we do that in a supermarket too. All right, once you've got everything you need, all your groceries, comestibles, you check out. Pagas. And I guess in a hotel too, right? Normally nowadays, because you reserve in advance many times, when you check out, you're not paying. Well, if you use the mini bar, which I do not recommend, unless you like paying a markup, una subida, un premium, a markup of 200%. Suit yourself. No he dicho shoot yourself, dispárate a ti mismo. He dicho suit yourself. Tú mismo. Tú sabrás. Suit como traje. All right, so next week's, have you ever kept a journal or a diary? And of course, tell us a little bit about it. Also, you've got the Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. Man, I can't believe how fast. I mean, it's like 2 weeks, a little bit more than 2 weeks away now. So mark your calendars as well for the 2nd of June. June 2nd, it's at 8 p.m. Get there, 7:30, 7:45. The place is the Toast Tap Room. If you are following Vaughn on social media, I'm sure they will share the image. I've shared it also on my social media. So if you're interested, also, I recommend you follow Vaughn anyway. Don't follow me. I don't really post very often. I have some videos. Listen, I'm there because I have to be there, not because I want to be there. You catch my drift with social media. But Vaughn is there. They actively post every day. They're there to answer your questions as well. And you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on all the different platforms. And it's kind of funny, since I tell you guys, don't follow me. De repente tengo muchos seguidores nuevos. So I don't understand how it works. I don't get the algorithm of the night. All right. Okay. It is the algorithm of the night. I hate that word. I'm thick. One of those words that's been just said too much. Engagement, algorithm. Shut up, please. Please shut up. Hey, that's a good way to get people sick of something. I remember the paradigm when I was a kid. A radio would overplay a song, right? So you loved a song, and they would play it, and they would, oh, okay, I love this song. Then they would play it twice an hour. Then they were playing it every hour on the hour, 3 or 4 times an hour. And you're like, okay, you're making me hate the song. Okay. That is to overplay something. So yeah, sometimes too much is not good either. As I like to believe, there's a happy medium. There's a middle ground in life where, you can like a song and not listen to it 200,000, 400 billion times, right? There's got to be that middle ground. Also, folks, we are celebrating a birthday today. It is lovely Laura's birthday. So if you guys are in touch with Laura, one of our amazing students, Laura, she is Italian, so we have some blood in common, algo de sangre en común, as my family hails from. Es otra forma de decir proviene de. My mother's family hails from Sicily and Naples, so I've got some Italian blood in me. So don't forget to wish Laura a happy birthday if you guys have her on social media, or you have her WhatsApp. It is Laura's birthday. So should we sing her a little happy birthday here? Happy birthday to you. Let's do the rock version. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Laura. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. And many more. All right, let's kick off this birthday celebration for one of our best students with our Say What soundbite. I think this one's going to be really easy. Again, what I'm doing here is comparing it to, ones that we've done in the past. And, if you compare this to Ozzy Osbourne or the boys from Oasis, oh, my God, good luck with that. I can't even understand them. I think this one's going to be a breeze, una brisa. Decimos una brisa, pero significa pan comido. Eaten bread. No uses esa. No decimos eaten bread. We say a breeze, a walk in the park. All right, here it is for the first time. Remember, you're going to hear this a total of 4 times. At first, I just want you to tell me what you heard. This is a good way to practice summing things up and explaining things in English. And hopefully, before the end of the show, somebody will be able to get it word for word. Are you ready? Here goes.
When I sold the company, I just sort of said, I had a baby girl, I got married, I had a different life, because I knew it would take me another 10 years to make those films. And I was 69, and I said, I'm not gonna be doing this when I'm 79.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. Welcome to our pop quiz, Examen Sorpresa. As I said, I think today's Say What soundbite was quite easy. Don't worry, because you are going to hear that a few more times, three to be exact. So, yeah, and it's a really famous person. Like, you could say this guy's name in any country, anywhere in the world, and people say, oh, yeah. Him? Oh, man. Oh, wow. Yeah, that guy is. Oh, wow. Of course. Also, a quick reminder, since we're looking at some materials right now, as we always do. Today, we're looking at Speak English A1. All right, for A1 levels. But don't forget, we've got also B1. We've got them all. And right now, we have got some of the best deals we have ever had. Joyos, that's right, deals that we have ever had. Business letter manuals for €5. Yeah. €1.5. Conversaciones en inglés, $6.25. I mean, we're talking about a steal here. Word Maps, an amazing book written by my friend Richard Brown, €10.45. Really brilliant. He really gets into all these words in a fun way. That's one of the wonderful things about Richard Brown. He is somebody whose inner child, su niño interior, his inner child is alive and kicking. Okay, vivito y coleando, as you say. We've also got Prepara tu B1. If anybody's taking these exams, that is $59.48. Habla Inglés como un nativo, that's €10.47. We've also got tons of different deals for kids materials as well. The Lost Grandmother, Chaos at the Zoo, Taking the Town Hall, El Ayuntamiento, Robots Gone Wild. These are all available, each one for €3.15. So if you're looking for some reading material for the summer, I can't think of a better place to get it than over at Vaughn Tienda. All you have to do is go to grupovaughn.com, search for Vaughn Tienda, and then there you'll find promociones, I think it says promociones, barra promociones, and you'll find tons of materials. I'm sure each and every one of you can find not one, but a few different materials. And at this price, I mean, we're practically giving them away. Lo estamos regalando. Again, I'm telling you because I have never seen prices. I've seen some awesome deals, but not like this. This is really tremendous. I just shared the link with you if you guys are with us in the chat. And this way you can just give it a click and take a look around. So as I said, today we're taking a look at Speak English A1. Now, knowing the level of my students, you guys shouldn't have too much difficulty with this one. So, as always, I want you to listen carefully. And as always, I will have some questions for you afterwards, just to make sure that you're paying attention. Here goes.
14. Grammar. How much? How many?
¿Cuánto azúcar necesitas?
How much sugar do you need?
¿Cuántas manzanas hay en el frigorífico?
How many apples are there in the fridge?
¿Cuánto té hay en la tetera?
How much tea is there in the pot?
¿Cuántas sillas hay?
How many chairs are there?
¿Cuánto dinero gastas en ropa?
How much money do you spend on clothes?
¿Cuántos bolígrafos necesitas?
How many pens do you need?
¿Cuántos huevos hay en la caja?
How many eggs are there in the carton?
¿Cuánto es?
How much is it?
¿Cuántos hay?
How many are there?
¿Cuánta gente hay?
How many people are there?
¿Cuánta harina necesitamos para la tarta?
How much flour do we need for the cake?
¿Cuánto dinero hay en nuestra cuenta bancaria?
How much money is there in our bank account?
¿Cuántos hermanos tienes?
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
¿Cuánto papel hay en el cajón?
How much paper is there in the drawer?
¿Cuánto vale este anillo?
How much is this ring?
¿Cuántas reuniones suele tener ella?
How many meetings does she usually have?
¿Cuántas tostadas quieres para el desayuno?
How much toast do you want for breakfast?
¿Cuántos idiomas hablas?
How many languages do you speak?
¿Cuántos quiere él?
How many does he want?
¿Cuánta agua bebes al día?
How much water do you drink a day? Test yourself.
¿Cuánto queso quieres?
How much cheese do you want?
¿Cuánto chocolate hay en el cajón?
How much chocolate is there in the drawer?
¿Cuántos supermercados hay en el pueblo?
How many supermarkets are there in the town?
¿Cuánto necesitamos?
How much do we need?
¿Cuántos quiere él?
How many does he want?
¿Cuántos niños hay en tu clase?
How many children are there in your class?
¿Cuántas tostadas hay?
How much toast is there?
15. Grammar. Much, many, a lot of, little, and few.
No hay muchos correos en mi bandeja de entrada.
There aren't many emails in my inbox.
No hay mucho arroz en el cuenco.
There isn't much rice in the bowl.
No hay muchas maneras de hacer esto.
There aren't many ways to do this.
No hay mucha gasolina en el depósito.
There isn't much petrol in the tank.
No tenemos mucho tiempo para llegar al aeropuerto.
We don't have much time to get to the airport.
Él no tiene mucho dinero en su cuenta corriente.
He doesn't have much money in his current account.
No hay muchos tenedores en el cajón.
There aren't many forks in the drawer.
Ella conoce a mucha gente en esta ciudad.
She knows a lot of people in this city.
Hay muchos lagos en Escocia.
There are a lot of lakes in Scotland.
No tengo mucha paciencia ahora mismo.
I don't have much patience right now.
¿Tienes muchos amigos ingleses?
Do you have a lot of English friends?
No hay mucha sopa en la olla.
There's not a lot of soup in the pot.
¿Él come muchas verduras?
Does he eat a lot of vegetables?
Ella no tiene mucha energía ahora mismo.
She doesn't have much energy right now.
No celebran muchas reuniones los viernes.
They don't hold a lot of meetings on Fridays.
Hay muy pocos bares en esta zona.
There are very few bars in this area.
Tenemos muy poco tiempo.
We have very little time.
No hay mucho tráfico a la hora de comer.
There's not much traffic at lunchtime.
Conozco a muy pocas personas que tienen mucho dinero.
I know very few people who have a lot of money.
Hay muy poca leche en el frigorífico.
There's very little milk in the fridge. Test yourself.
No hay mucha comida en la nevera.
There's not a lot of food in the fridge. Or, there's not much food in the fridge.
No hay muchas manzanas.
There aren't a lot of apples. Or, there aren't many apples.
Tenemos muchos amigos en Escocia.
We have a lot of friends in Scotland.
Hay muy pocos restaurantes japoneses en esta zona.
There are very few Japanese restaurants in this area.
Tienen muy poco dinero.
They have very little money.
¿Hay mucho tráfico a la hora de comer?
Is there a lot of traffic at lunchtime?
Ella tiene mucha energía.
She has a lot of energy.
You have a lot of energy, amigos. I can see it in the comments. Wow! Awesome. The comments are brimming with energy. A rebosar, you say? Brimming with energy. That's awesome because we've got a lot of participation today. We're going to be hearing from many of you in our question of the week. Plus, we've got homophones, double trouble, name that lyric, name that movie, and so much more. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Stick around. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back, amigos. This is part 2 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. And I want to send a special shout out to my amigos, Bosco and Flavia. I heard from a friend of a friend, well, actually from a friend of mine who's a friend of yours, that you listen. And Bosco and Flavia, they're youngsters, jovenzuelos. I love it when people of all ages listen to the show with no name. So, a special shout out to Bosco and Flavia and all our amigos, whatever age you may be. It's a pleasure. Now, it makes me realize I better watch my mouth. Or else my mom is going to wash my mouth out with soap. Believe me, I try to keep it clean, but also I think I'm doing you an injustice if I don't teach you the real deal. You know, if I don't teach you how we speak, those things that can be misconstrued, malentendidos, right? So thank you. Whatever age you may be, wherever you're listening from, I appreciate you. And I thank you. An absolute pleasure to be here with you day after day, year after year, month after month, and yes, decade after decade. All right, well, folks, we've got a lot of stuff to do. So let me give you the First, let me give you the pop quiz. Then I'll give you the say what sound bite stuff. This way we can gain some time here. All right, the first one. ¿Cuántos muebles tienes en el salón? ¿Cuántos muebles tienes en el salón. Estamos mirando contables versus incontables. How much, how many, right? So the first one, ¿cuántos muebles tienes en el salón? Number 2, ¿cuántas tostadas quieres para el desayuno? ¿Cuántas tostadas quieres para el desayuno is number 2 in today's pop quiz. And the third one, ¿cuántos consejos te dio ella? ¿O te ha dado? Está bien, la que prefieres. Lo importante es que sepas la diferencia, ¿ok? I know in Spanish, Castilian Spanish, ¿cuántos consejos te ha dado? You guys love the present perfect, just like the British love it in English, right? And we, American English, is more like Latin American Spanish. Fuiste, comiste, right? We use the past simple a lot more than the present perfect, okay? So, number 1, ¿cuántos muebles tienes en el salón? Number 2, ¿cuántas tostadas quieres para el desayuno? And number 3, ¿cuántos consejos te ha dado ella? All right, those are your 3 challenges in today's pop quiz. I'm also going to give you the Say What soundbite now for the second time.
When I sold the company, I just sort of said, I had a baby girl, I got married, I had a different life, because I knew it would take me another 10 years to make those films. And I was 69, and I said, I'm not gonna be doing this when I'm 79.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. Just one of the many materials you can pick up. And right now, we've got some killer deals. Go to grupovon.com and take a look around. We've got something for every age group, for every level, and for every student profile. Maybe you need to work on grammar. Maybe you need to work on your listening. Maybe you need to work on, vocabulary enrichment. Don't worry. We've got you covered. And at a very nice price. Hey, I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. All right, my amigos. So today we're taking a look at Speak English A1, one of the many materials you can pick up. And we were looking at much and many, which we looked at the other day. Much, real simple. Much, uncountable. Many, countable. Okay, how much water do you have? Agua es incontable. How many friends do you have? Ahí tenemos, bueno, pon un ejemplo siempre. Many, contable, right? Then you've got a lot. Lo bueno de a lot vale para los dos. I've got a lot of water. I've got a lot of friends. Now, here's my question, because both are correct. What's the difference between if I say I have few friends and I have a few friends? O sea, solo estoy metiendo la A. All right. If I say I have few friends, apenas tengo. Feel sorry for me. Te tengo que dar pena. If I say I have a few friends, tengo unos cuantos. I have a few friends in the United States. Bueno, tengo unos cuantos. If I have few, sin la A, es que apenas tengo. So that changes everything. And that's for countables. For uncountables, same deal. O sea, pon un ejemplo, right? I have little patience. Eso es, no me pongas a prueba. I have little patience. I have a little patience. Tengo algo de. No, algo tengo. So again, that changes everything. Okay, it seems like it's a little nuance, but as we always say, and as the expression goes, the devil is in the details. A great song by Placebo. Mira, conocéis la palabra placebo, porque no solo es un grupo de música, but a placebo when we talk about doing tests, pruebas. But you pronounce it placebo, we pronounce it placebo. Also, a couple things. They talked about petrol. We call it gas. So they call it a petrol station. We call it a gas station. They meaning my British friends. And we don't agree on anything when it comes to the car. They call it the boot. Yo te lo digo en inglés británico, tú me lo dices en inglés americano. Ready? Put the suitcases in the boot. Te lo tengo que hacer a lo británico para que encaje. Could you please put the suitcases in the boot? Tell me in the American way. Could you please put the suitcases in the trunk? All right, the next one. The engine is under the bonnet. El motor está debajo del capó. The engine is under the bonnet. Americans would say, the engine is under the hood. El motor está debajo del capó. They also looked at the word hold a meeting. I love how you say it. Well, vamos a celebrar una reunión. Nice try. Nobody. Celebrar, really? Después de una hora, no hay mucha celebración, right? To hold a meeting, we say. To call a meeting is convocar. So they're related to meetings, both of those words. The boss called a meeting. He always likes to hold meetings on a Friday, por ejemplo. Okay? Also, there are some words, going back to the countable and uncountable things, that are both. So if I say, how much food do you have in your fridge? Pues ahí es incontable. Pero si digo, I love to try different foods from around the world. Ahí estoy hablando de géneros de comida, ¿no? That's not the correct word in Spanish. Different delicacies, diferentes tipos de comida, right? So be careful. There's some where there's a gray area, and one that's kind of transcended that is beers too, because beer is a liquid, so it's uncountable. But when you go to a bar, you say, give me 2 beers, please. Now, they know you mean a pint of beer or bottle, whatever they have. But technically there, we're breaking the rules, right? But again, it's one that makes sense. Ahora, si ya sirven tercios, bottles of beer, pints, well, then they'll say, well, what do you want? Well, 2 pints of beer. Ahí es cuando se convierte en contable. Pero si solo tienen un barril, if they only have draft beer, it's perfectly normal to say 2 beers, please. Okay? But there, obviously, from the context, you're really trying to say 2 pints of beer, okay? 2 bottles of beer. All right, let's practice a little countable versus uncountable, and then we'll take a look at your comments. All right? Tenemos poca agua, o sea, apenas queda. Lo acabamos de mirar. We have little water. We should save. We have little water. Okay, tenemos un poco de agua. So, poca versus un poco. Tenemos un poco de agua, algo. We have right? We have a little water. So we have little water, tenemos que comprar. We have a little water, pues nos queda. Vamos bien. Algo tenemos. Okay? No queda mucho. There isn't much left. There isn't much left. No quedan muchos. There aren't many left. O sea, ahí tienes un ejemplo de cada uno. There isn't much left, incontable, y left lo vimos ayer, que queda, que sobra, sobrante. And there aren't many left. Okay. No tengo tanto como tú. I don't have, or I haven't got, as much as you. ¿Lo dijiste bien? I don't have as much as you. Vamos a pluralizarlo. No tengo tantos como tú. I don't have as many as you. So I don't have as much as you. I don't have as many. Si ponemos lo que es, pues esa palabra, mira cómo lo metemos. I don't have as much patience as you. I don't have as many friends as you. Right? Pon ejemplos. Y esto es la mejor forma. Con un ejemplo, con el ancla, as I call it, la ráfaga, well, you've got the structure. Then you can put in friends, you can put in cars, you can put in money, you can, until you got it. And remember, if you're not practicing aloud, what are you practicing? Reading it? Okay, that'll, I guess. But the whole idea of practicing a language is to practice it aloud. Okay, two more. Así hacemos otro contable y otro incontable. ¿Cuánto había? How much was there? How much was there? ¿Cuántos había? How many were there? Right? Hay que cambiar el verbo ahora de was a were, porque es plural. So how much was there? How many were there? ¿Cuánto había? ¿Cuántos había? All right? Practice, cause, ¿qué voy a decir? Practice makes perfect. All right, we've got Daniel in the house. Daniel, my brother. Great song by Elton John. Daniel, te lo conoces seguro. He says, I'm not a metal guy. We say a metalhead. I'm not a metal guy. I prefer jazz. Oh, cool. Thanks for sharing. I like jazz. I don't like modern jazz. Let me clear something up. There's jazz, and then there's Kenny G. I like John Coltrane. I like the old school jazz. None of that new pop jazz. That's garbage, IMO, in my opinion, obviously. But I like metal. I like jazz. The only music I can't put up with is something, whether it's pop, whether it's rock, whatever it is, something that's auto-tuned. Remember how we just said, cuando usas algo demasiado, ya la gente está como, okay, están quemados. Oh, do you believe in love after love after love after love? Which, again, it's a beautiful song. And Cher, she was a pioneer using it, and she only used it in one little part of the song. But now in every song, it's every little syllable. It sucks. So that's the only music. I'm pretty open-minded. I used to be pretty closed-minded with music. That's a good question of the week, Daniel. We could take a look at that one in the future. But yeah, you have to specify there, because that new pop jazz, no thanks. No, thank you. All right, let's see. K Roller Girl, there she is. She says, good morning, you beautiful people, the beautiful people. Little Marilyn Manson reference over there. Born to Iron Man says, hi, friends, what's up? Daniel, this is the algorithm of the night. Bueno, o la versión española. Esos son ribocos, son night. So night. All right, this is son ribocos, son night. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man says, many happy returns, Laura. Also, Daniel wishing you a happy birthday. Laura says, good morning. There she is, our birthday girl, bringing a bit of her magic our way. She says, good morning, lovely and lively show with no-namers. Thank you for making my day even more special. Grazie. You all rock. Awesome. Laura's also participating in today's Say What soundbite. She says, I heard an American man who mumbles a little bit. Great word. He mumbles a little bit when he speaks. Yeah. And he's explaining how he sold his company when he was 69 to devote himself to his wife and his baby girl daughter. Absolutely. Perfect ear. Luis says, in today's show with no name, I can hear a 69-year-old gay. Bueno, no sabemos su orientación sexual, no del audio, right? Y da igual. Hey, to each his own. A cada uno lo suyo. Or do you mean guy? A lo mejor quieres decir guy, porque has puesto gay. Bueno, yo te aviso, no es lo mismo. Okay? So, I don't know if you were, guessing his sexual orientation there, but I can hear a 69-year-old guy. Te lo voy a cambiar a guy, okay? This way we don't judge a book by its cover. I can hear a 69-year-old guy talking about his life, his daughter, and his wife. Absolutely. Y más si es guy, lo que quieres decir. Because I don't think he's gay if he's talking about his wife. Well, maybe he's closeted. It's possible. It's possible. Born to Iron Man, there he is participating in today's pop quiz. He says, how much furniture do you have in the living room? No te he pillado a ti, amigo. Furniture en español no es contable, en inglés no. How much? Now you can say pieces of furniture, pero sería mucho más común decir how much furniture. No te he engañado a ti, Born to Iron Man. Great. How much furniture do you have in the living room? Perfecto. The next one, how many pieces of toast do you want for breakfast? Perfecto. También toast es incontable. Pero él ha puesto pieces of toast. So tenemos dos opciones. How much toast do you want for breakfast? Como oímos en el audio. Or how many pieces of toast do you want for breakfast? Excellent job, buddy. And the last one, how much advice did she give you? Perfect. I can't fool you. A ti no te engaño. Let's see. Laura, how many pieces of furniture do you have in your living room? Great. Or how much furniture? The next one, how much toast do you want for breakfast? Otra que no consigo engañarle para nada. Muy bien. A ver, ¿por qué he puesto estos tres ejemplos? Porque no coinciden. Furniture, muebles, es contable en español. Tostadas es contable en español. En inglés es toast. A no ser que decimos pieces otra vez. Y advice, no es consejos, es consejo. She gave me some advice. Otra vez si ponemos pieces, pero no hace falta. ¿Por qué? Porque vamos a poner más sílabas si no hace falta. And how much advice did she give you? Excellent job. Wow. Born to Iron Man and Laura rocking and rolling. Wow. Born to Iron Man says we can listen to a well-known film director discussing his decision to sell his company, noting that he was 69 years old at the time and wanted to focus on his family, his wife and daughter. Wow. Awesome. Awesome job. Wow. You guys, I couldn't fool you in today's pop quiz, and everybody seems to be on the right track with our Say What soundbite. There she is, our movie queen. She's the movie queen. Oh, yeah. And she says, hi, guys. I'm at work. I'm going to miss the show precisely today. Happy birthday, Laura. Thank you for stopping by, Chris. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, even if it's just for a quick second. All right, let's move on because we have a lot of stuff to cover today. So let's check out today's homophones on the show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 That's right, amigos. This is where we look at these tricky words, these words that sometimes people mispronounce. So A I want to know if you know the words. And B, I want to know if the two words sound exactly the same. Thus, y por eso, being homophones. All right. So the first one is the plural. No es un dado, sino dados. So if you like to play board games, juegos de mesa, nosotros decimos juegos de tabla, porque muchos vienen con una tabla, ¿no? Para jugar. Dados, okay, is the first word. They're used in gambling. If you play craps, they're used in board games, right? They're used in expressions too, no? Hay que lanzar los dados, echar la suerte, right? We'll take a look at that expression as well. And it also means to cut into cubes. Piénsalo. Cortar en dados o tacos, as you say in Spanish. I love it, tacos. The word taco in Spanish has a lot of meanings. 40 tacos. Bueno, me va a dar reflujo comerme 40 tacos. No, has cumplido 40 tacos. Oh, okay. Pero no digas un taco. That's a triple trouble in Spanish, the word taco, right? So, dados, cortar en dados, okay? And then, as I said, it's got some idiomatic expressions, which we'll take a look at as well. All right. And the second word is the third person singular of the verb morir. Okay. So, el malo siempre muere. En la película, ese muere. Él, ella, eso. Right. Tercera persona singular, que lleva una S, o sea, es morir con S. Okay? That is your second word there. Okay? And we'll see. We'll see if anybody, A, knows these words, and B, knows if they sound exactly the same or not. The first word, again, is dados. Again, it's got other uses, which we'll take a look at. And the second one is morir, él, ella o eso muere, en tercer persona singular. All right, amigos, we are going to a quick commercial break. I can't believe it. When we come back, we'll take a look at our homophones answers. Also, what else have we got? So we'll listen to the Say What soundbite. We'll take a look at our homophones answers, and then we need to hear from you guys in our question of the week, where we're going to hear from Alberto, Alfonso, Born to Iron Man, Cristina, Chicago, Elena, and many more amazing students. And remember, if you want to participate next week, you've got the whole weekend to work on it. And you need to send it to me before Thursday evening. Have you ever kept a journal or a diary? Right? La frase que siempre empezamos, Dear Diary. No, querido diario. No sé si lo decís igual en español. All right, folks, we'll be right back with much more. So stick around. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. This is the second half of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Thank you to everybody who tunes in every day, not just to this program, but also to the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. No Excuses with Fitz. The Hour to Empower with Jessica Fernandez. Speaking with Confidence with Ale. The Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy. Speak English with Ruby. The Salad with Dave Boys. Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking. And remember, you can find all these programs on your favorite podcast platform or on the Vaughn Radio app. Well, yeah, sometimes people say, hey, Alberto, once I go to certain areas of Madrid, I lose the signal. You never lose the signal on the app. Well, I guess if you're in the middle of the desert and you don't have an internet connection, si no tienes cobertura, es otra cosa. That's the good thing about the app. It's obviously more stable. Radio signal, sometimes it depends on the weather, too. So the good thing is, as long as you have an internet connection, you've got access to Vaughn Radio. And even when you don't, even, if you're going on a trip, although a lot of planes now, you can get Wi-Fi, Starlink, but you can download them before you leave your house from your Wi-Fi, and you can bring us with you on your next trip. So you don't have any excuses. That's the good news. Now, you can learn English anywhere and everywhere for free. And you've got amazing materials, basically free. I mean, we're giving them away. Take a look at grupovon.com. All right, let's see what we've got over here. We've got a bunch of people participating in our homophones. I'll tell you what, let me give you the Say What soundbite for the third time. We'll see if anybody gets it, and then we'll take a look at your homophones answers. Here we go.
When I sold the company, I just sort of said, I had a baby girl, I got married, I had a different life, because I knew it would take me another 10 years to make those films. And I was 69, and I said, I'm not gonna be doing this when I'm 79.
Me pregunta el del chiringuito si quiero hacer kitesurf o wakeboard, o si prefiero tomarme un bitter cass antes. Me acaba de decir 5 palabras en inglés. Kite, que significa cometa, surf, que es obviamente hacer surf, pero también significa oleaje, wake, que es estela, en este caso la estela del barco, board es tabla y bitter es amargo. Y justo antes, cuando le pregunté si hablaba inglés, me dijo, ¡pero patatero! Sabemos mucho más inglés de lo que creemos. Solo nos falta asimilarlo y situarlo. Aprende a aprender inglés en cualquier lugar con This Book is the Milk y su secuela, This Book is the Milk 2. Te enseñaremos cómo enfocar el inglés, aprovechando todo el inglés que tenemos alrededor y de una manera divertida y adictiva. The Remilk ahora se llama This Book is the Milk 2 y viene con audio y nueva portada. Descúbrelos ya en vaughantienda.com.
That's right, VaughnTienda.com. All right, let's see what we've got over here. All right, the first person to participate is Born to Iron Man. He is on fire, no surprise there. And he gives us the 2 words, and he says they don't sound alike. Daniela says they don't sound the same as well. And Laura agrees. Oh, wow. So 3 super students are telling me, no way, Jose. Well, guess what? They're right. The first word is dice. Dice. Es una S, aunque es CE, que es la palabra dice en español. Dice. Dice. The second word, dies. Zzz, dies. Ok, voy a decir los dos juntos. He dies, lo estoy exagerando para que lo oigas. He dies every time he rolls the dice. He dies. Y la I, el sonido vocal es más largo también. He dies, dice. Dice. Es cortito y el sonido, o sea, 2 cosas que te dicen que no. Estas palabras no son iguales. Now, there is another word that sounds like the second word. He dyes his clothes. Teñir. D-Y-E-S. That's a homophone for the second one. But dice, la primera, that one doesn't sound like either one. And the singular, that's the funny part here. The singular of the word dice is die. La expresión, the die is cast. La suerte está echada. Also, the expression, however you slice it or dice it. Cortas como lo cortas, pongas como lo pongas. However you slice it or dice it, English is exciting here on Vaughn Radio, right? However you slice it or dice it. All right. And the second word, dies, as I said, es morir. Pero si le cambiamos la I latina a Y, también es teñir en tercera persona. O tintes, right? He uses a lot of different dyes when he's in his clothing factory. All right. So excellent job. Guys, these are tough challenges today. Os he engañado, os he intentado engañar varias veces, but all to no avail. Sin éxito. All right. Well, here we go with today's question of the week.
Question of the week.
All right, this week's question of the week. Excellent question. And it was a question that was sent to us by K Roller Girl. What is a culture that you are dying, hablar de die, that you are dying to know more about? Let's start off with Alberto.
Hello, Showing No Namers.
What's up?
Here is Alberto speaking again. I've always been interested in many cultures, although if I had to pick a one, I would definitely go for the Maori culture. As you know, they are the indigenous heartbeat of New Zealand. Since the first arrival of the first Polynesian voyagers over 700 years ago, the Maori people have cultivated a rich identity rooted in the land, the spirit, and the community.
Absolutely. And I love, Alberto, I love how you said the word culture. Culture is perfecto. Future, nature, dilo conmigo, future, nature, culture, statue, Portugal.
As an example, the All Blacks in rugby perform the haka,
Oh, yeah.
which is perhaps the most famous icon. It's a tradition war dance and display of unity involving rhythmic shouting, stomping, and fierce facial expressions.
Fierce, feroz, great word. Yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind was the rugby dance. Yeah, the New Zealand, the All Blacks.
I hope these traditions may keep alive forever, and I wish I could go to New Zealand and learn more about this culture there. This is all for today. Have a great long weekend. Bye.
Excellent job, Alberto. You sounded great. You were confident and you got your point across, right? That's the goal of anybody who needs to communicate, to get your point across, comunicar claramente tu idea. And you did just that. So keep it up, Alberto. You've really been kicking butt in this section. Okay, up next, we've got another Al, but it's not Alberto, it's Alfonso.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
It's Alfonso from Ruby. Out of all the trips I've taken
Trips, tío, me encanta.
and all the cultures I've seen, the one I wish we could be more like is the Japanese.
Absolutely.
I've never seen cleaner cities, and that's without trash cans, or more polite people.
Yep.
If you lose something, you actually get it back. Nobody keeps anything that isn't theirs, and everything is super organized. When you take public transport, people line up and no one cuts in.
Wouldn't that be amazing to have that in Madrid? It's a pipe dream, un sueño imposible.
And if someone does, it's usually a foreigner.
Foreigner, cuidado con la pronunciación. It's a foreigner, and it's frowned upon. Mal visto, it's frowned upon.
Once you're inside the train or bus, nobody shoots or talks loudly, and everyone keeps their phones on silent and use headphones. Everyone is really kind and respectful. We could learn a lot from them.
Learn.
See you.
Mhm. Absolutely. When I went to Japan, I said, man, The West is fucked. El Occidente está jodido. Sad. I'm laughing, but it's so true. There's a word. Aretha Franklin said it best. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. RESPECT. For a little respect, just a little bit respect. It's that simple. It's a question of respect. Respecting your elders, respecting your environment, respecting the society, everybody around you. And yeah, what happened? West? ¿Qué pasa, Occidente? We should take note and learn from the Japanese. I couldn't agree more, Alfonso. All right, up next, we've got Born to Iron Man.
Hi, friends.
Hey.
BTI on the house. One culture that fascinates me the most is the ancient Greco-Roman world.
Ancient es una palabra que mucha gente pronuncia mal, ¿eh? O sea, todos conmigo, ancient, como agency, el mismo sonido. Ancient, vamos a decir, es una agencia anciana, vieja. It's an ancient agency. Seguimos.
Especially because of our own Greco-Roman ancestry. And knowing that our roots connect back to such influential civilizations makes me want to learn more about how people lived, thought, and shaped the world we know today.
I think they were more advanced than now. Hey, Arrested Development. Vamos hacia atrás aquí.
The Greeks introduced ideas about democracy and critical thinking
Theater, el teatro también, los griegos.
to philosophers like Socrates, while the Romans built incredible roads, aqueducts, and
Aqueducts. En vez de ducts, aqueducts.
legal systems that still influence our modern society.
Even our architecture. Have you been to Washington, D.C.? It looks like Rome.
I also admire how mythology played such an important role in everyday life.
Mhm.
Stories about gods and heroes that continue to inspire books like, oh my God, la mitología que no sabías que sabías.
Oh, my friend Damian's book. That's a great book if you haven't checked it out. La mitología que no sabías que sabías. And basically what he's saying is Greek mythology is more present than ever in our institutions and in our modern life.
By Damian Moya.
That's right.
And movies like Monty Python's Life of Brian.
Great flick.
Learning about this culture helps understand where some of our heritage comes from.
La H se pronuncia heritage. Heritage.
It connects me to traditions, values, and achievements that have lasted for thousands of years. By studying the Greco-Roman world, I feel like I'm discovering not only history, but also a deeper part of our own identity. Ciao for now.
Okay, careful. Own, no own. Own. Oh, es como una O. Our own identity. So true. So true. The Greco-Roman. I mean, that talk about, bringing the world into a new age. And that's what they did, right? Each in their own way. And then, as you said, it's fascinating. The Greek gods and the Roman gods. Really, really interesting. And then when you go to Segovia, I'm using Segovia as an example because you said aqueduct, and you see that thing still standing, and you're like, wow, why can't they build stuff like that now? I mean, they build stadiums, and every 10 years, they're knocking them down, derrumbándolos, because they're made of shoddy building materials or poorly made. So as I said, sometimes when I see the Romans or the Greeks, I'm like, are we going backwards? Or what's going on here? Shoddy, Shoddy. You say chapucero. Great word. Shoddy. All right. Wow. Great answers so far, amigos. Fascinating. And you're doing a wonderful job. Are you ready for this ball of energy that's about to come your way? You know her. You love her. It's Christina Chicago.
Good morning. Good morning. It's 60:20. I'm here. Okay, so the question of the week. This is Christina from Chicago.
We know who it
The question
is.
of the week. Yesterday when we were having dinner, it was Mother's Day here in the United States and
Happy Mother's Day.
Mexico. Some of my family members, were saying like, oh, I would like to go back, to to meet, Jesus, like the Jesus, years, to see or prove, if he was still alive or he was real or he wasn't real, whatever happened,
Right. Go back to Jerusalem, back to biblical times.
in history. For me, it would be the 1960s, more or less, for two reasons. First of all, I could meet, my parents, my grandparents, and great grandparents, and I don't know, it's something that I would like, to see how was it, like.
To see how it was, porque es indirecto. Yeah. But Chris, okay, I said what culture, but okay, yeah, you're saying the culture of the 60s. I get it. But you're traveling in time. I love it. Can I go with you?
And who were there? Because I didn't have the chance to meet them. And the other thing is that right now I'm teaching social studies. This is my second year, so that will be the third year next year. And I'm very into the history about the Black history and how they became like free in United States.
Right, the Emancipation Proclamation, the Jim Crow laws, a fascinating history. The Black history of the United States, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. I mean, it wasn't even just, they weren't just fighting for Black people's rights, but they were fighting for civil rights, for everybody's rights. I mean, that's something that's fascinating. It was a fight that for any underdog, cualquier menos favorito, no? Poco favorecido. Yeah, very interesting. And obviously, that's something that you learn more about in the United States, I think, as far as I know, than here in Spain. So yeah, interesting.
The apartheid and Martin
Apartheid se pronuncia. Apartheid.
Luther King, Rosa Parks, and also like women, how did they get the rights to
women's suffrage, lo llamamos, right? When women were fighting for the right to vote. Yeah, and this is all pretty recent history when we compare it to the Greco-Roman times,
vote and to be independent. So that's my answer. And love you all. Show with no neighbors. Love you.
Wow, excellent job. Great answers, folks. Great answers. And yeah, I've got to say my answer, which I think many of you know, and I already know a lot about that country. I've been there, but I'm planning to go back. My answer is Japan, just like Alfonso said, and also another student, I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but another student of ours said that the culture that fascinates her the most is Japanese. But we'll get to that student because up next we've got Elena, who is a superstar student. And as you guys can hear by the way she speaks, wow. And wow. And then when you meet her in person, as I said, you'll fall in love with her.
Hello, this is Elena. What
Hello.
culture would I like to learn more about? That would be hands down Greece. And
Ooh.
I find its culture simply fascinating. Their stories of their past through mythology, their gods and goddesses, and what each of them represents with their own flaws and dramas. The fact that it's survived to this day, even making part of brands like Nike, for example, the
Right.
goddess of victory, or for example, Amazon, women warriors, or Pandora, which means, I guess, all gifted.
You got to get my friend Damian's book, La mitología que no sabías que sabías. You'll love it, Elena.
I mean, but the story that most piqued my interest was undoubtedly Helen and Paris. I wonder why. Their love story triggered the Trojan War. And how passionate can a man be and his people to become devoted for years and years of their lives trying to get her back? My husband couldn't care less. Sorry, out of line here. Okay, bye.
I love it. Elena even puts a little sense of humor in there, which is key. Es la clave ahí. No, ese sentido de humor. All right, excellent job. Wow, and wow. All right, let's hear from Juanlu, Chicago.
Hey, Alberto, this is Juanlu from Chicago.
What's up?
Question of the week is too wide that I will take advantage of that and talking about Harley Davidson culture here in the US. There are many groups, many clubs here in the US, but the most famous are Hells Angels in California, Outlaws MC in Illinois, Bandidos in Texas, and Pagans in the East Coast.
Okay.
So my story started when I overtook a group of motorcyclists here in Illinois, and immediately one of them overtook me again. I was riding my Street Fighter motorcycle. I have a Suzuki 1000cc.
Oh,
But
nice.
I don't belong to one of these groups. And I see that they overtook me again, and looking at me like sparing my life.
You are messing with the wrong crew. Those bikers, man, they call them biker gangs for something.
So I was really scared in this moment.
At that moment.
And after that, I see this famous logo in their jackets, in their leather jackets, like a skull crossed by pistons.
Oh, God.
They have the acronym on Adios. That means angels die, outlaw state, in reference to Hell's group in California.
Oh, okay. I didn't
they
know
have this, their motto is GFOD. That means for God forgives, outlaws don't. So my advice, if you ever cross these kind of groups, never overtake a group of
Yeah, that wasn't a good idea, man.
Just in case. All right, bye.
Yeah, it's really interesting, the motorcycle culture. And that's not just an American thing. You know, Hell's Angels, all of these guys. That is an interesting subculture, no doubt about it. And, well, Juan Lu learned his lesson. Don't overtake them. No les pases en la autovía. Not a good idea. Just let them go by. All right, guys, let me give you a little challenge before our commercial break. It's double trouble.
Double trouble.
Oh, no, triple trouble.
Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up.
Here we go. Go.
Double.
Triple trouble.
Double trouble.
I said triple.
Double trouble. Double. Double trouble. I said double. Double trouble.
That's right, folks. Triple trouble. Did I say double trouble? Oh, boy. Here we go. All right. El tío con anemia falciforme. I didn't know this word in Spanish. I just learned it. El tío con anemia falciforme estaba en la celda hablando por su móvil. There you go. Triple trouble. Okay? So, el tío o tipo, you say too, con anemia falciforme, no sé si lo pronuncio bien, estaba en la celda hablando por su móvil. Okay? So that is, that's a triple trouble. I'm looking for the same word 3 times there, right? And yeah, this is kind of a blood disorder, right? It affects your hemoglobin and the oxygen carrying proteins in red blood cells. Okay? So good luck. El tío con anemia falciforme estaba en la celda hablando por su móvil. Folks, we are heading to our final commercial break. When we come back, we've got our Say What soundbite for the 4th time. We've got our triple trouble. I know somebody's going to get it. We've got a few more people to listen to in our question of the week. We've got Name That Movie. We've got jokes. We've got famous birthdays and tons of stuff to cover in the 4th and final part of today's show. So, if I were you, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back, my amigos. This is the fourth and final part of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. All right, let's see. Let's see if anybody got this triple trouble. Laura, the guy with sickle cell anemia was in his cell talking on his cell. Yes. That's right. Sickle cell anemia. I didn't know the word in Spanish. Now I do. Sickle cell anemia. You call it anemia falciforme. So yeah, sickle cell, porque células del cuerpo, your blood cells. A cell is where somebody is when they're in prison. They're in a cell. And your cell is short for your cell phone. Yeah, the British say mobile. We don't. We don't say call me on my mobile. We say call me on my cell. De hecho, hay una canción. You can call me on my cell phone. You can call me on my cell phone. Or on my cell. De hecho, piensa en Latinoamérica en mi celular. There you go. So the guy with sickle cell anemia was in his cell talking on his cell. Great. Born to Iron Man. The sickle cell inmate was in his cell on his cell phone. All right. K Roller Girl, the guy with sickle cell anemia was in the cell talking on his cell phone. Laura, you don't have to put cell phone. Te vale cell, a secas. O sea, se usa tanto. You can call me on my cell. Okay? Y es un homófono para vender. So excellent job, Laura, born to Iron Man, and K Roller Girl. Awesome job. All right, here's your last chance. Oh, I'm surprised. Everybody understood it, but I guess there's some word there that's causing some confusion. Well, here's your last chance to jot down today's Say What soundbite.
When I sold the company, I just sort of said, I had a baby girl, I got married, I had a different life, because I knew it would take me another 10 years to make those films. And I was 69, and I said, I'm not gonna be doing this when I'm 79.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, folks. Master's programs, summer camps, one-to-one courses, group classes, whatever you're looking for, go to grupovon.com. And don't forget about the special deals we've got going on right now on materials. All right, next up in our question of the week, we're going to take a look at one from Marisol.
Hi, it's Marisol.
Hello.
There are different cultures around the world that are very fascinating, but probably one of them that I found it's great to worth to mention is Brazil culture.
That's worth mentioning is Brazilian culture.
The culture is shaped by indigenous, African, and different kind of communities. But the language, Portuguese, is soft, nice, and like singing.
Yes, I
met
agree.
some friends from there, and I found it like a strong sense of community and warmth.
Warmth.
We
yeah.
used to do barbecues and meetings in a house, and they cooked a lot of amazing food, different types, and always I felt like welcome with them.
I
They are
always
always
felt
dancing, happy to talk. I think they are creative,
creative,
creatives,
creative.
energetics. Well, it's a culture that it's worth to mention.
It's a culture worth mentioning. And energetics no lleva ese porque es un adjetivo. So they are energetic.
And keep in mind. Greetings to our show, we no namers. Bye.
Great job, Marisol. Yeah, Brazilian culture. Oh my God. I remember going over to a Brazilian bar in Barcelona during the World Cup. Not that, I don't remember what year it was, but the World Cup was going on. And a friend of mine took me to a Brazilian bar to go watch a Brazil game. I have never in my life experienced such energy, not even at an AC/DC concert. Wow. Unbelievable. Esa galera, I think they say. Wow, awesome. Yeah, that's high on my list too. Brazilian culture. It's just so unique. All right, up next, you know her, you love her, our movie queen, Chris Valrol.
Hi, show with the namers, Chris
Hello.
Valor here. I find all cultures interesting, and precisely when you delve deeper into them,
Indagar, to delve, palabrón.
you're left flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted, atónito. Wow, Chris.
Think about the Mayan or Egyptian pyramids.
Mayan or Egyptian pyramids. So Mayan pyramids.
Or the medical knowledge that some civilizations already had. Like the Islamic, Greek, or the Chinese.
Yep.
I always enjoy learning more about any of them. But I have to choose one because it's the game, and it's Celtic culture.
Oh, Celtic.
I guess because of my family roots,
Sure.
it really appeals to me, even though I already know
Right? Already.
a lot about them. And that's all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Excellent job, Chris Valrol. A student who always participates religiously. And another one who does that too, Anix.
Hey there.
What's
This is
up?
Anix. Well, I'm not fascinated by a modern culture, but for an ancient one,
Ancient, me encanta como lo has pronunciado.
I'm a geek of Greeks, ancient Greeks.
A Greek geek.
Probably, because I mention it every time I had a chance. But recently I've discovered some fun facts about Vikings or Americans.
Sure.
Americans, I mean, from Alaska to Punta del Este,
Yeah.
those ancient cultures.
The Americas, as we call it. Yeah.
And the way they treated the nature, the deep respect they have for it. And that's the thing that fascinates me the most. Okay, bye-bye.
Great job. Wow. And Anix, you pronounced the word ancient. That's a tough word. You don't know how many times I've heard ancient when it's really ancient. Excellent job. All right, up next, it's Kay Roller Girl, the one who suggested this question.
Good morning, everyone. It's
Hello.
Kay Roger here, and I've been fascinated by Japanese culture for as long as I can remember.
Culture. No, cool. I think it's cool, right? Culture. Japanese culture. I told you there was somebody else who said that. So you and Alfonso and me have something in common.
Since I was a kid, I've watched anime in Japanese instead of dubbed versions. A total nerd behavior, I admit it. And honestly, I think my son caught the bug too, probably because of me
He caught the bug. Le mordió el bicho. Good.
and Nintendo. After listening to the Balls A podcast about this trip to Japan over and over again,
There's a podcast I did about Japan. FYI, you can search for it on the same platforms where you get the Vaughn podcasts.
I wanted to go even more. And now it is finally happening.
Yes.
Because next year, my son and I are going to Japan.
Awesome. Your dreams are coming true.
And I even have a place to stay in Osaka. So I've got some friends there.
Osaka's beautiful.
What I love the most is the attention to detail in everything.
Absolutely.
The tea ceremony, Japanese calligraphy, the architecture, the gardens, the bouquet, and the beautiful outfits of geishas and samurais.
Yeah.
And what I like the least is probably how male-dominated and traditional some part of society still are.
Sure.
But even so, I find the culture incredibly unique and inspiring. Arigatou gozaimasu for listening.
Oh, arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much. Great. Great answer and great question, K-Roller Girl. And last but certainly not least, give it up for Nudia.
Morning, Alberto.
Hello.
Namers. This is Nuria speaking.
She told me, excuse her voice, she's a little hoarse. ¿She's a pony? No, horse, joarse se escribe, que suena igual, es afónica.
As for this quiz question, in Spain, there are a lot of tradition involved, from festivals and events to great food and cultural experience.
Yes, Spain is a cultural explosion from the north to the south, which are totally different cultures.
However, if I have to mention one in particular, I'd say that las tapas are the cherry on top.
Las tapas. Yo, now we're talking about food. Now you got my attention.
They are a key part of our culture.
Yep.
La tapa is not a type of food. No. It's a way of eating, and it's all about socializing.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, it was, you put it literally encima de tu cerveza o tu vino para cubrirlo. Era una tapa, right? If I'm not mistaken.
And enjoying a plethora of flavors with friends in a bar or a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I like to learn more about these small snacks that, as far as I could know, are linked historically to Andalusia, a tradition which evolved a practical need. But there are many more theories that lead us to the 13th century. So let's go for a stroll, amigos. Take care. Thank you.
Century. Portugal. Nature. Culture. All right, excellent job, folks. All right, it's time to move on to Name That Movie. Name That Movie. Yes. All right, here we go. It's Name That Movie time. In Las Vegas, two best friends, a casino executive, and a mafia enforcer compete for a gambling empire and a fast-living, fast-loving socialite. All right. Oh, and by the way, we've got a Say What soundbite winner, Born to Iron Man. Great job. Excellent job. All right, so in Las Vegas, two best friends, a casino executive and a mafia enforcer. An enforcer is somebody to enforce is hacer que cumplan. That means a killer. Okay, that means you do as I say or else. And they compete for a gambling empire. Gambling is el juego. Hey, we looked at the word dice before. And a fast-living, fast-loving socialite. And a socialite is like somebody like La Preisler, right? Somebody who's known for being famous, right? So that is the synopsis. Let's take a look at the scene because we don't have too much time. So I'm going to go quickly through this so we can learn some English from this amazing movie. Highly recommend this movie. Ace, que significa as. And by the way, this movie was based on a true story. These are real people. They change the names and things, but it's based on a true story. And Ace says, I'm just curious. I saw you shuffling your checks with your right hand. Okay? Now, shuffling is barajar. And checks, I don't know why he says checks. I would call them chips. Quizás chips son las fichas. So they're gambling. He's at a table. Lo voy a cambiar a chips porque yo creo que IMDb se ha equivocado. I saw you shuffling your chips with your right hand. Can you do it with both hands? And the guy says, no. He goes, can't do it with both hands? And he goes, no, sir. Can you do it with your left hand? He says, well, I never tried. Nunca lo he intentado. And he says, okay, well, so you're a righty. A righty, usas mejor la mano derecha. And lefty, evidentemente, usas mejor la mano izquierda. Ambidextrous es ambos, right? So you're a righty. And he says, yeah. And, they've got the guy in the back room. They caught him cheating. And then one of the guards repeatedly bangs the guy's right hand with a hammer. Con un martillo. Le da martillazos en la mano derecha. He goes, well, now you're going to have to learn with your left hand. Ahora tendrás que aprender con tu mano izquierda. All right. The movie is Casino. Oh. Wow. It's a movie that came out in 1995, and this movie stands the test of time. Perdura, it's still as good as it was, and it stars Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, and Joe Pesci. If you have not seen this movie, oh, it's great. I used to know every line in this 3-hour movie. All right, folks. Well, the die is cast. La suerte está echada, and I think it's time for your joking.
Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
All right, folks, some cop jokes, okay? Cop jokes are chistes de policía. Well, hey, we looked at the word cell before. The guy with sickle cell anemia who was on his cell, in his cell. Well, let's go. Why did the police officer arrest the skeleton? Why did the police officer arrest or detain, ¿te suena? Detener? This skeleton. Well, they could see the joint in his hand. No, the joint, la articulación, el porro. Why did the police officer arrest the skeleton? Because they could see the joint in his hand. And that word joint es garito. That word joint means jail. If you say he was in the joint, that means jail. If you say he was smoking a joint, es un porro. If you say he has problems with his joints, es articulaciones. If you say that's one of my favorite joints, es uno de mis garitos favoritos. So that's and also a joint venture. Un negocio entre dos, ¿no? Conjunto. Que viene de articulación, piénsalo. Esa es más. But wow, talk about a rich word. All right. Have you heard this? Police have arrested the world tongue twister champion. Yeah, that's right. Police have arrested the world tongue twister champion. I imagine he'll be given a tough sentence. No, le darán una frase difícil, una sentencia dura. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? So police have arrested the world tongue twister champion. I imagine he'll be given a tough sentence. Thank you so much, folks. I'll be here all week with my corny jokes. But right now, we've got a birthday party to get to. It's famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for
That's right, folks. All right, we need to fly through this because we are running out of time. The good news, you've got amazing shows all afternoon and evening long here on Vaughn Radio. Morning, afternoon, and night. You can learn English with us for free. Just download the free Vaughn Radio app. Number one, this guy reminds us that life is a highway. I'm gonna ride it all night long. If you're going my way, I'm gonna ride it all night long. I remember that song. I remember watching that video when I was maybe I was a preteen, preadolescente. And what a cool riff and a great message, too. The guy is a Canadian musician. And, he was also the front man of the band Red Rider. Now, this song has gotten popular again, but it's a cover, una versión, from the movie Cars. You know, the Pixar movie Cars. Life is a highway. Now, that cover was done by Rascal Flatts. I'm talking about the original. All right. Number two, this guy is a professional gambler and poker player. Yeah. Hey, we looked at casino. We looked at dice, right? Well, he was the first winner of the World Series of Poker. That's right. The first winner. Now, this is a huge tournament that attracts celebrities and whales. You say, we say ballenas. You say peces gordos. Well, whales. All right. And yeah, he was the first winner of this now very reputable tournament. So a professional gambler and poker player. He died in 1995 and his last name is Musgo. Bueno, en inglés, Musgo. All right. And last but not least, this guy, all right, creator of Star Wars. Tengo que decir más? He created Star Wars. Yeah, that guy. Okay. You know, that guy, the guy who created Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Yeah, perhaps one of the greatest directors, producers ever. Now, unfortunately, he sold Star Wars. Well, he sold his company to Disney. And listen, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. But so sad what they did with Star Wars. All right, number one is Tom Cochrane. Number two, Johnny Moss, Juanito Musgo. And number three, the one and only George Lucas. And that'll bring us to today's Say What soundbite. This is George Lucas explaining, I think he's regretting, arrepentiéndose. They're asking him, why? Why did you sell it to Disney? They took your vision and just turned it into tons of series. They kind of watered it down, aguado. And, he's defending it. He says, well, when I sold the company, cuando vendí la empresa, I just sort of said, I had a baby girl. No, acabo de tener una hija. I got married. I had a different life because I knew it would take me another 10 years to make those films. No, las que quedaban en la recámara. And I was 69. And I said, I'm not gonna be doing this when I'm 79. Now, as you can see and hear in his voice, I should say, he regrets this. But he also made tons of loot. Loot is pasta. All right, here he is, the one and only George Lucas.
When I sold the company, I just sort of said, I had a baby girl, I got married, I had a different life, because I knew it would take me another 10 years to make those films. And I was 69, and I said, I'm not gonna be doing this when I'm 79.
All right, folks, that applause is for you. Thank you to everybody who participated in our question of the week. I urge you to participate next week. As I said, next week's question is, have you ever kept a diary, un diario, where you write down your thoughts? Tell us about it. And also stay tuned because you've got amazing programs all morning, noon, and night here on Vaughn Radio. Thank you so much. We're going to say goodbye with birthday boy Tom Cochrane's song, Life is a Highway. I'm going to ride it all night long. La versión británica, Life is a Motorway. Ellos dicen motorway. Thank you, everybody. Ciao for now. Come on. Yes,